Mr. Mandela, if you could say, what are the main similarities and the main differences between the two epidemics, the one in Russia and the one in South Africa?
Well, when you look at the development of the epidemic, at first in South Africa we were pretty much in denial about the actual disease itself. You know, we had our president, Thabo Mbeki, who did not see any correlation between HIV/AIDS and AIDS, HIV and AIDS. And so I understand that even here in Russia, that there was a sort of denial in terms of treating people and giving access to people who are homosexuals and people who were using drugs. So I think the similarities is that when the epidemic started and really affecting people, we were not tackling the HIV virus head on. You know, those are the similarities that I've seen. But of course, we lost many people in our country, and so we've had no choice but to tackle this disease. And so we tackled it before, but now that Russia is finally understanding and seeing the true effects of HIV/AIDS, now they are also starting to tackle it just the same way we are starting to tackle it. Yes.
I see. So I can see that you're aware of the epidemic we're having here. You're familiar with it.
Yes.
So if you could say, what steps should be taken in order to bring change, bring positive to reverse the epidemic here in our region? I'm not only talking about Russia, but the region itself.
Yes. Well, the most important thing is that we should encourage people to get tested. The most important thing is that people should know their HIV status. And so we also need to understand that we need to tackle this disease head on. The media needs to play a role. Our civil society, our celebrities, who are the most influential people when it comes to the youth, because it's the young people who are mostly affected by HIV/AIDS. So we need to make sure that our celebrities, the influential people, our government are talking to our youth and making sure that they are getting tested, knowing the HIV status. Because once you know your HIV status and you're HIV positive, you can start taking your drugs and make sure at least that you have a chance to fight and live your full life. Because if you find out late, then the chances of you dying become higher. So we need to make sure that people are getting tested. That is number one, and that's the most important thing. And everybody has a role to play to make sure that people are getting tested.
Mr. Mandela, we're very honored to have you here on our conference. So if you have a message maybe for the people who are there, HIV positive people,
Yes.
or our government, or the government in our region,
Yes.
what will it be?
I would say to the people living with HIV/AIDS that just because you have HIV/AIDS does not mean that this is the end of your life. HIV/AIDS is not a death sentence. We're fighting it like cancer, like tuberculosis, like heart disease, like any other disease. HIV/AIDS does not mean this is the end of your life. Make sure you get tested, make sure you see your doctor, make sure you're taking your drugs, and you can live a long, good life like any other person in this earth. So understand that you too can achieve your dreams, whatever they may be. And to the government out there, I would say, please make sure that you support your people as much as you can. Support your people as much as you can. Through giving them the right drugs. It's very important to subsidize the medicine, because we know that a lot of people cannot afford this medicine because a lot of the medicine is very expensive. Unfortunately, we are dealing with pharmaceutical companies that only want to create profit. You know, so we need our government to come on board and to help subsidize the medicine as much as possible so our people can continue living a fulfilling life.